we're, raising them in a way that is pleasing to Him.
Yes, yes. And I really compliment you that you and your ex-spouse have made a decision to put the girls first, because oftentimes marriage gets very bitter. It's a challenge, that division, and it's not good for the kids.
Exactly.
So I think that is awesome that you guys have put the children first.
Yeah, I mean, we got off to an exceedingly rocky start, and it's just I think by the grace of God, we just kind of gave up. I personally gave up my anger, my resentment, and you just got to keep looking forward. And Scripture tells us to keep pressing in and pressing forward and looking and asking, for things through prayer. So, I've just incorporated that into the way that I've approached raising the girls, and also, my ex-spouse, and I've just, continued to pray for her, and I continue to pray for them, and, and that's, I think that's it's the only thing that you can do.
Sure.
You got to make the best of a bad situation.
Yes.
And it's not the end of the world, and you have to go on and be that person for them, and just, there's no substitute for time, and
no.
Like everybody else, it is challenging to kind of run your business and still have quality time with the kids, and then it's been, a series of adjustments, especially in economic times, owning a new business and
Sure.
that. So, but it's good, and it's, one of the things is I like to introduce my children into, the realities of life. Not, you can insulate them to a certain extent, but there's no real substitute for hard work. So I'll bring them into the office, and we'll.
Good for you.
We'll have them do some filing work and some other things, and it kind of helps Dad out a little bit too. And with the Shepherd's Guide, we do a lot of delivery of the books and that, so they get involved with it, and it's a lot of fun. And
that's great.
They enjoy it, and they take personal ownership and pride in
Sure.
it, and it's something that we often work on. So it's kind of neat.
Yes. So they're involved in soccer with you as well as your business, and that's great.
They are. So I'm the assistant soccer coach as well. So really don't know anything about soccer. I grew up wrestling and playing football, so soccer's kind of a new thing to me. But something that they really enjoyed, and we're blessed to have just a terrific head coach, and he's got two girls that are the same age as Karen and Lexi, and we have two separate teams that we manage, and it's just been we've been doing it for several years now. It's just been it's been a real blessing just to be a part of the other girls' lives, and just kind of seeing the impact. And we just have a lot of fun, and we've got some great teams. The girls are really good, but first and foremost, we really have a good time doing it. And that I think a lot of times that parents especially get too over the top with competitiveness with respect to the kids, and we're just trying to create an environment where they're out there, exercising, having fun. We're teaching them some stuff, and they're enjoying each other's company, and just getting out and running around.
And have a holistic approach.
Exactly,
yes,
exactly, and it's it's based out of the Y, so it's Christian based as well. So it's it's terrific.
Yes.
It's terrific. We enjoy it.
Now I'm curious, because you seem very dynamic in your spirit in that forgiveness piece, and let's just put the past behind. And we have an audience of so many people that are dealing with the economy decline, as well as separation, divorce, and a lot of times that bitterness sets in, and the kids becomes a tug of war.
Yeah.
So I think it's very good that you and your ex-spouse have come together, and you're creating what I call a win-win situation.
Yeah.
Now let's talk about maybe cooking. Because a lot of dads can say, "Oh, it's hard. We just go to McDonald's, or we just pick things up. We live at the restaurant." How does that work in your home?
It's kind of funny. I think I'm a pretty decent cook,
Okay.
but the I'm great at just kind of throwing some things together and mixing. It's just the way dads do it. It's not like measured out. At least this dad, it's not measured out. You just kind of throw some things together and stir it all up and kind of hope for the best. And you can never recreate.
Yes, the original dishes.
Exactly, everyone's an original, right? So based on what I've got in the refrigerator, so nothing gets left over. Everything's an original dish. But I don't think my children, if it wasn't for macaroni and cheese and pasta and all the stuff that's not great for you, I don't think they'd actually live. There's maybe a half a dozen things that they eat. Quesadillas and chips and salsa, and it's bad. I mean, the only kind of vegetables we can get in them are the ones that are the pasta that's like flavored, like different colors, and
Right.
they don't know it's actually like some kind of good stuff for them.
Oh, okay, yes, or the bags, yes. That's got the
exactly.
meat, but you got the frozen veggies incorporated.
Exactly.
Oh,
So we just
okay.
kind of slide anything in there when we can, doing some
Great.
supplements. But yeah, it's fun. They always try to make it well rounded. We'll slide some nuts in there for protein and that. So apples and mandarin oranges, go through those things by the case. So
Now,
it's,
values, and you've touched on several different subjects, relative to your priorities and being
Sure.
home and that time being a very significant piece, because some dads feel like, well, I provided you with this great home. I bought you everything you wanted.
Yeah.
And a lot of times the kids are saying, I just wanted you to come and watch me play soccer. I just
Yeah,
wanted you to
yeah.
come and watch me play ball. What would you say to a parent, a dad
Yeah.
that's newly divorced, separating? What would be the number one thing that you would say to him?
Number one thing is I would just say that you have to continue to love your ex as the parent of your children,
Yes.
and the way the respect and the treatment that you give them will radiate in the kids.
Yes.
So if you're disparaging about their mom, it's only going to hurt you because they're going to tell mom, and then so it's. I think you just have to come at it from a place of grace. I mean, there's really no other way that you can approach it. You have to just get over the anger. I've lost financially. It's been like extremely devastating.
Yes.
But
Most people with the economy
you
decline.
just the economy decline and just going through. If you get lawyers involved, the whole nine. I mean, it's two separate households, and so it can be very challenging. But you just have to. I really found my faith in this period, and I think that kind of keeps me on an even keel rather than kind of vacillating back and forth with all the stuff that goes on.
Yes.
There can be a lot of drama in separate households, and
Sure.
and it's hard. The other big thing that I would really recommend to new dads are, just don't introduce anyone to the kids until it's somebody that's very important and specific. So we've got kind of an unwritten rule that, unless they're marriage material, we don't really introduce that significant other to the children, and
Okay.
which is kind of neat. And then we've got
Yes.
some other rules that we've kind of agreed to. So, we've actually kind of sat down and kind of, we've got our 10 commandments, if you will, of kind
Sure.
of the things that are
The do's and
acceptable and
don'ts.
not acceptable as far as sleepovers and stuff like that. We just none of that stuff happens because the kids don't need to see it based on the
Absolutely.
values.
Sure.
And,
Yes.
hopefully you're equally yoked in your values. That can be a source of tension, and you just have to let the other person know where you're at, I think, and just what's acceptable for you and what's not acceptable. So.
Sure. And I love the saying, what you accept, you teach. And it
Exactly.
becomes learned behavior.
Exactly.
So I'm hearing you say that, you draw the boundaries,
Yeah.
and there's certain people that you don't bring around your children.
Sure.
And you hear single parents say, oh, but I got lonely and I need a life of my own, and
Yeah.
I'd like to have people over.
Sure.
So you're saying keep others away unless it becomes a very significant
Well,
relationship.
I think somebody that you're dating
Okay.
is important to kind of keep them out of, because there's an emotional bond that the children attach to somebody new, and if you're
Sure.
constantly bringing new people in and out of their lives, it's they're
very
getting hurt.
confusing.
They've been through this massive like mom and dad peeling off, and they've got a lot of hurt and stuff that they're dealing with. They don't need any more strange people that's going to
Coming
replace
into
their
that
mom or
equation.
their dad, or
Sure.
you never call like this is your new mom, or a lot of people
Yes.
try to just plug somebody in like they can actually do that.
Right.
Yes. I just think that's just a colossal mistake. I mean, your mom's your mom.
Yes.
Will always be your mom. I'm the dad. I'll always be the dad. I'm here for you. And then the way I like to look at it is, my ex recently got remarried, and that's we call it's a bonus dad for them.
Oh,
They've got two
wow.
dads.
Wow.
So they've got
Yes.
they've got their father, their biological father, and we've got a special bond. And I'm not jealous, but he does other things that I don't do, which is
Right.
good, and hopefully they'll become more well-rounded as a result. And same thing on the mom's side.
And you're to be commended that you have accepted, because a lot of times there's that resistance, that element of friction, as we stated earlier.
Exactly.
Yes.
I think you have a choice whether to respond or react.
Sure.
Is what I always kind of you take a look at any situation in life for me, I say, do I respond to it or do I react to it? I can react by like digging my heels in and not want to do anything, or I can respond to it and try to come out with something positive.